Rogers confirmed to CBC News today that it's increasing the cost of some of its phone and internet plans, even for its subsidiary Fido. According to Rogers, the price hikes could be as high as $9 for customers who are not on a contract, and these price hikes could be seen in as early as 2 weeks. So you already pay $100. Do you think it's fair?
No.
Can we talk about how insane cell phone bills are in Canada? Canada has some of the highest phone bills in the entire world for a supposed first world country. We're paying third world prices. Our paychecks that go towards phone bills or internet bills is insane, and maybe it has something to do with the fact that Canada is running an absolute monopoly on these particular sectors, and it's brutal here today in Canada to have the luxury to own a cell phone here and pay these ridiculous prices. I can rant for days about my phone bill, and I actually have the cheapest provider, I think one of the cheapest providers in all of Canada. And then you do the research, you find out that that provider is actually owned by one of the more expensive big monopolies in Canada. So yeah, there's not a lot of competition in Canada. And that might be one of the reasons why the phone bills are so expensive in this country. And we're going to discuss it in today with a lot of videos and some information regarding this very topic. So if you do enjoy these videos, hit the like button. And with that being said, let's dive straight into it.
Rogers confirmed to CBC News today that it's increasing the cost of some of its phone and internet plans, even for its subsidiary Fido. According to Rogers, the price hikes could be as high as $9 for customers who are not on a contract, and these price hikes could be seen in as early as 2 weeks. So you already pay $100. Do you think it's fair?
No, they shouldn't. It's too much, to be honest.
In 2023, Canada ranked 216th, according to a report from a UK organization that tracks the prices of telecom companies. Israel ranks number 1 at 2 cents US per gigabyte of data, France at 20 cents, the UK at 62 cents, and Canada paying $5.37. Last year, Rogers CEO pledged that prices would go down for customers after the company officially merged with Shaw Communications. U of T marketing prof David Soberman says legislation put in place years ago restricting foreign companies reduces competition in Canada.
Historically, as Canada, we believed that it was very important to protect our telecommunications sector. If you go back 40 years ago, our telecommunications sector was primarily broadcasters. The importance to protect Canadians doesn't really exist with mobile phone service like it does with broadcasting.
And again, broadcasting is dying too, and streaming services are really starting to take over again. And it feels like we're kind of back to that old cable day, where like you'd pay for like cable packages to get everything. It feels like that with streaming services. Netflix used to give you so much, and now Netflix has so much less than they used to have. So you have to have Disney Plus, you got to get Amazon Prime, you got to get Crave TV, you got to get obviously Netflix because that's the OG. And then there's other platforms as well. Even YouTube, you could pay like a YouTube premium that gets rid of ads. And I think it also gives you some other things for free. But that, again, is just more bills being added up. And if you guys want to know how expensive the bills are in Canada, the average phone bills here in Canada, the average monthly cell phone bill in Canada is generally in the range of $50 to $60. However, bills can vary significantly based on individuals' needs and the specific plan chosen. For example, a plan with 10 gigabytes of data can cost around $40, while some plans offer unlimited data for a higher price. Unlimited data for a higher price, and believe me, there's gonna be so many hidden fees, especially with Bell and Rogers. Oh my God. All my friends who have Rogers, they tell me like at least a few times a year they have to literally call and like yell and complain to try to reduce their bill based on some bullcrap charge that they've gotten.
They pay the highest cell phone prices in the world. In fact, Rogers Telecommunications is the most expensive telecommunication carrier in the whole of the world. How expensive? 3 times as expensive as Australia, wow. Twice as expensive as the US and Europe. The Rogers Shaw deal will only make the priciest company and the most biggest only bigger. We need more competition in Canada, which means not just a 4th carrier, but 40 carriers to supply more choice to Canadians and lower prices. When will this minister get serious about competition instead of pandering to just one monopoly?
Whew, and that is a very powerful monopoly. Let me tell you, the amount of buildings in Canada, sports arenas and stuff that have been changed to Rogers something is pretty pretty alarming, actually. I still call the Sky Dome, and you might know it as the Rogers Center. To me, it'll always be the Sky Dome because I will never, and I refuse to call it the Rogers Center. I just refuse to do it.
Let's talk about your phone bill. I know, when I came to Canada first, it was a shock for me to see how expensive it is to just own a SIM card and be able to phone or just go on the internet. I came from Italy where my monthly plan was 10 euros or 12 euros with like less than 20 bucks. Unlimited texting, unlimited calling, and 50 gigabytes or like something like this, like huge, okay, like so much. And when I came to Canada, I knew that it was more expensive because I looked it up. But yeah, the cheaper we can get you is like 45 bucks and you get like 5 gigabytes. It was in 2018, so like it's gotten better now, but I was like, what? That's so expensive.
Can you imagine going from a place that had 10 to 12 euro phone plans that gave you like unlimited everything, and then you come to Canada and it's like, okay, I just get 5 gigabytes and I have to spend $45 a month for that. Get me the hell out of here. And you want to talk about how bad Rogers is? Rogers, like other Canadian telecom companies, faces criticism for its pricing practices and perceived corporate greed, particularly regarding cell phone plans. Some argue that price increases and lack of transparency in their pricing structure contribute to this perception. And the lack of transparency is definitely the fact that there's a lot of hidden charges they don't really tell you about, or at least they don't explain it to you in detail, and that can really be brutal when you're looking at that phone bill at the end of the month. And also, there's limited competition. The Canadian telecom market is dominated by a few large companies, which some argue limits customers' choice and allows for higher prices and less competitive pricing. And there you have it. That really is the crux of it all, isn't it? The fact that Canada has these massive monopolies, especially in the telecom industry. Let me know your thoughts about this video down below in the comments section. And with that being said, guys, I hope you learned something today, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Take care.